Thanks everyone for having me. My name is James Mifsud. I'm the CEO and founder of Rival.AI, an esports data company. We're a team of strategy experts revolutionizing how teams compete and win in the world of competitive video gaming. To help you get an understanding of what we do, I thought maybe I'd start by telling you a little bit about who I am. So I was born in the island of Malta, the Mediterranean. It's just off the North African coast, and I didn't speak a word of English. When my parents immigrated us to Canada, my brother and I learned the language just by playing video games. So I've always been a part of the esports industry since I was a kid. When I first got my first job as a teenager, it was at a video game store, and I started realizing, hey, we can put tournaments on the weekend and start getting kids to come in and play. And after a while, it was so successful that all the other video game stores in the neighborhood started paying us to throw tournaments at their stores too. So by the time I was 17, I already knew this industry was going to be massive. Did I think it was going to be this big? I have to be honest with you, no I didn't. 2017 marked a pivotal year in the video game industry where it surpassed traditional sports in overall revenue. It's a baby industry still, it's growing, but I like to consider it as a baby on steroids. The esports industry is really flexing its muscle around the world. I'm not going to really get too much into the metrics, because as it was alluded to earlier by Joe, the esports industry is worth your attention. There's a lot of investment happening and a lot of success stories around the world. And where's all that money coming from? Well, it's coming from all over. You know, they used to say that athletes wanted to be musicians and musicians wanted to be athletes. Nowadays, they're all gamers. After visiting a lot of the locker rooms that we got to see through the Stadia family, they all mentioned that video games are part of the sport ecosystem. A lot of athletes use video games as a way to unwind, and now they're really getting involved and investing in some really great technologies and teams. Let me just give you an example of what video games look like. If you haven't seen, this isn't a video of a real game. This is actually the world champion in FIFA. This goal won him millions of dollars. He was an unknown person before he entered this tournament, just a young kid in Pakistan who ended up joining a tournament, and one thing led to another, and now he's world-renowned for his abilities. Rival.AI is an esports data company. We use our AI machine learning engine to watch the action on the screen, and we compute tens of thousands of computations per match, and we follow the top players around the world, track their tendencies and their strategies, and then feed that back into our system where we provide that data to our customers. In December of 2018, we took our MVP to market and signed our first client. They were Gaming Frog, a tournament organizer that teamed up with the EMLS and FIFA to put on a sanctioned tournament, and they needed a way to optimize their execution of the tournament. So they brought us on board to handle the scoring. So we were scanning all the scores for all the games and running them through our system and then reporting back to them, as well as the security of all their data. In case there was any objection to a score, we had all the final information that we can then provide the organizers, and stat aggregation. So every time something happened within a game, we can record that ability and then report it back. So for the first time, the client was able to provide rankers and leaderboards in such a way that they couldn't do in the past. Here's a short promo video of what action took place in December. And just to give you just like a quick few metrics, we had over 35 hours of esports data that we computed. There were hundreds of matches. We had over 1 million impressions overall in the tournament. And this was all really great opportunity for us to learn how our tech works in the real world. So I'll just show you a quick glimpse. So the industry is doing really well, but there's some inherent problems that are worth addressing. addressing, most notably with the teams. Right now, teams have very little information on who they're going up against when they enter these tournaments. Some of the top teams have a little bit of knowledge by going back and looking at old footage, but a lot of the times a team or a player will enter a tournament, and this is the first time they're even hearing about their opponent. Same with the broadcasts. Broadcasting is a big part of esports. There's a lot of revenue happening. There's a lot of unbundling of the cable packages in households. So teams who are into video gaming are spending more time watching streams of pro players. They're not watching cartoons. They're not watching cable packages. Right now, though, the broadcast of the esports is akin to a 1960s baseball game where it's in black and white and it just goes from the game footage to an interview. It's exactly like that in esports. We're bringing color to the broadcast by overlaying dynamic data, as well as the leagues. There's leagues all over the world. Every game almost has a league. But right now, the leagues are very manual in their operations. So offline leagues, if you're at an event, you have to raise your hand when the game is over, and then someone comes over with a clipboard and writes the score down and then helps direct you to the next game. And if it's an online tournament, a lot of the times you have to take a photograph of the television and then you got to email it to the moderators if there's a dispute on the score. So we automate this whole process. And the trading and the betting community in esports is massive. It's over $24 billion annually spent on betting on video games. It's going to balloon in the next coming year, and we're providing the industry with the ability to make more insightful picks and improve betting lines. The traction over the last year has been a lot of fun for us. We founded the company in the summer of 2018, and then within a couple of months of building our first prototype, we were accepted to the Stadia family. And as I alluded to, it was really exciting. It was a lot of nervous energy for us because we knew we were a young company. The Stadia guys were really great. They helped us not only understand the industry better, but help pivot our technology to a more sustainable model. We teamed up with Tower GG, which is an esports think tank. They helped us formulate our CSGO, which is a video game, and understand the betting community and what services we could offer them. So we're currently in a pilot program providing them with very detailed insight data that they said they've never seen before, which is helping them make better predictions when they bet on pro games on behalf of their clients. As well as GG Esports Academy, which is an American world leader in the formulation of junior players and training of the up-and-coming pros. They then sign and sell players to professional teams, a lot like athletes do. So they use our technology to help evaluate up-and-coming players because, as you know, manually evaluating hundreds of thousands of players is a very time-consuming job. So our AI is deployed to do that job more efficiently. And as I mentioned, our partnership with Gaming Frog, which we executed a tournament successfully in December. And just recently over the holidays, we had won acceptance into a very prestigious opportunity for us because it's my hometown team, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment family, along with Ryerson University, formulated the Future of Sports Lab Business Accelerator, which we were accepted to, and that has already begun. And we are also finalists for the Sports Tech Tokyo Accelerator in Japan, which we're very excited to participate in April. As I mentioned, this roadmap for 2019 is going to be a lot of fun for us. We're working with the Toronto Raptors and Maple Leafs on our NBA 2K product. They're using our tech to help understand who are their opponents, what plays do their opponents run, how can we beat them, and what do we need to do in practice to get better. So our tech is being utilized by a pro club, and we plan on rolling out similar products for other titles, like these ones here. We're also really excited with the talks that we're having on a possible partnership with a biometrics company that is creating the world's most dynamic esports jerseys that have biometric sensors in, so they're scanning body temperature, perspiration, heart rate. And what we're looking to do is integrate their data set with our data set. We want to be able to provide the industry with the first biometric statistics based on performance in the esports community. This is really exciting. Think of it like this. If you're a team and you're in the finals and you have 5 teenagers and you have to choose one on your team to take a penalty kick in a soccer game and it's worth tens of millions of dollars, who do you pick? So we're hoping that our data can help make that pick better. Up until now, they just go with the kid with the least sweatiest hands and hope he scores. We're trying to provide a little bit more dynamic data to provide that more efficiently. With Twitch, we're working on a Twitch extension in partnership with them. This is our consumer execution product where players can compare their data, their playing ability with streamers, which is really important for young kids who are immersed in esports, especially in the streamer audience relationship. And we're planning on the end of the year to roll out a consumer product after we manage to identify all the core fundamentals of what we're doing with the professionals. The business model is a subscription-based. We're working on 3 main verticals at the moment. Right now for teams, we're providing advanced scouting on their opponents, evaluation of their current players, who to drop, who to pick up, who to re-sign, as well as tactics on coaching strategies that happen within practice, what strategies work, what strategies need to be improved on. And as well as with leagues, as I alluded to, we're improving a turnkey solution for leagues so they can not only provide more efficient responses to their execution, but also allow them to integrate new effective ways of working with data. And the traders in the betting community, on the betting side, we're helping them make smarter bets and executions, and on the bookie side, we're helping them create and generate more accurate lines. The competition exists in sports data. What we're hoping to do is be the world leader. We're really excited with what we have right now. We think our engine is already superior than a lot of our competitors. We think we're looking at the industry more in broad ways, especially on business applications, not only on the consumer side, but also on infrastructure and providing the data that powers the esports industry. But we know we have a long way to go. We're still a young company, but we're learning as we go. We have a strong team behind us, and we know that this industry will allow us to take our technology in places that we may not foresee at the moment, but we're remaining flexible. So whatever situations come up in the industry in the next few years, we want our technology to be ready for that. Our team consists right now of 6 individuals. This is our management team. Everyone on my team has at least a decade experience. We're all based out of Toronto, but we were all born in other countries. So we think we bring a nice dynamic flair to the team as well. But I think most importantly, everyone on my team are gamers. We understand the industry. We have a lot of connections. And with the partnership with Stadia, we now have a mentor team that can continue to advise us beyond just this program. We're currently announcing a $1 million US raise on our pre-seed round. I have more information on that if you want to find me later. And the way that we're going to use these funds is primarily to increase our team size. Right now we have 3 AI engineers. We'd like to double that, as well as bring in some sales experts and really spend some time, resources in improving the core innovation AI of our tech. We know that it can get better, and we think that we're on a right path to getting to where we want to be, as well as having funds set aside for working capital and marketing. I'll leave you with a short video clip that kind of outlines some of the cool things that we're working on now, our partnership with MLSE and FSL, as well as some of the other cool products that we're about to release later on in this year. Thank you very much.